Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Vincent Green.
I'm your host, Noel John Tui.
And this is Talking Points. Let's get to it, motherfuckers.
Oik Bantiv.
Let's talk at the points. Talk at the points. Do. All right, Noel, we're back. And this time we're back with another episode of Talking Points. And a focus of our attention this week shall be the latest reports coming out of Netflix land. And that is the reported price hikes and the reported crackdown and password sharing. Because, you know, Netflix was short of a few quid.
Okay. The devil's advocate in me knows that people, including myself, have taken the absolute piss out of fucking Netflix sharing. It has been fucking insane. So it always kind of felt like it was an inevitability. Yeah, you know, it was definitely going to be an inevitability, and I don't know. I thought all roads lead to here.
Yeah,
and everything's getting more expensive lately. Something must be going on in the world, but I wasn't surprised by it. Has it affected you directly?
Oh, the Netflix thing. Well, one thing that has affected me is that the fact that they've price hiked for the 2-device subscription means me and my partner decided we were going to go to the 1-device one. We only ever using them 1 device at a time anyway, so it's not going to affect us. So literally, I'm splitting my subscription fee in half now because they've doubled the 2-device subscription, where it's actually literally 2 subscription fees. So I'm just going to drop back down to the €8 one or whatever it is. And so I think a lot of people are going to do that. Like, they're going to price hike and people are going to drop down either their subscription level or they're going to start pirating more. I just think it's a bad idea and a bad time to be doing it, like, you know.
We got our own subscription finally, and instead of like sharing somebody else's, and I didn't realize that you only get like one. I couldn't log on to a device as a guest or something, so I had no idea why I'd set myself up a profile. Because I'll never get to fucking use it. And I was like, okay, these motherfuckers are cracking down. Don't get me wrong, like, I mean, they are making money hand over fist, but they're also going to protect what's theirs. It's like, fuck them, and also, like, if there's a way around it, go for it. Not telling you to commit crimes, not telling you not to commit crimes. I guess I'm just not telling you what to do.
Exactly.
But I also, it was all roads led here, and I remember just thinking, we had a good run. That's what I thought when we actually got our own subscription and realized it's just one and one TV. I was like, well, that sucks, but you know what? We had a good run. At least I get something from it. We're in Ireland where we have to pay TV licenses to cunts.
Yeah.
Now that I could be pissed off about. Netflix at least gives me something that I actually want and would be willing to pay €8 a month for.
Yeah, just the TV license thing's a joke because, like, it's to fund RTE that pretty much nobody watches, and the only reason they're using it to fund RTE is because they've got these fucking hacks, these nobody C-level personalities that are on exorbitant fucking wages every fucking year, like $500,000. So you pretty much have the Irish people paying for these fucking overpaid nobodies, like, you know what I mean? So that's the TV license. But like, I'm the same with you. Like, when people started comparing streaming services to cable because of the amount of them and the overall cost, the streaming services, not only can you decide which one you want to get, and like unlike cable, which is oftentimes a complete package. I know they have different tiers of the package, but you have to oftentimes get a lot of content you don't want to watch or you never watch and you're paying for it anyway.
Oh yeah, basic will just have that anyway. Yeah,
exactly. So with the streaming services, the content is often more tailored towards the consumer because of the algorithms and whatnot, even though the algorithms themselves are extremely flawed because they keep fucking recommending the same fucking movies over and over and over again. And there's like a layer of movies that you never really get to, because like I came up with this idea that I was going to make a different profile for every genre, so I could have the algorithm sing completely to my fucking whims. Like I was thinking, because if you keep watching different stuff, the algorithm kind of seems to get bogged down and it just keeps showing you similar shit as the recommendations. So I was thinking nearly the best way around something like a Netflix would be create a different profile for every genre. And then
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and just keep searching and searching and searching.
Sound like Dark Vinnie, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Just like torture porn all the way down to Pixar.
It's like Dark Vinnie, but not like Jimmy Fallon Dark, you know, where he went dark. You know,
exactly.
What is it?
The internet remembers.
Kimmel did it as well.
I know.
It went blackface.
I got the Fire Stick a couple of months back. My sister recommended it, and all of a sudden I was like, "Wow, I have Prime now." And all I paid was like 25 quid for this Fire Stick. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But like, as you know, money has been crazy tight. I'm broke every Monday, which is slug to get to Thursday.
Yeah, it's really hard talking to you about this kind of stuff. Forever and ever. We get it. You're destitute. We get it.
I check it, and I'm just like €9 a month. Wait, that's more than Netflix. That's more than Netflix Prime. And let's be honest here. Like, let's take it back and be real with ourselves for a second here. You're not as good as Netflix. You're not a shadow of Netflix.
For original content, Prime's not as good, but in Ireland, the Irish market, man, the TV shows on Prime, like there's some back catalogue. Like you got Supernatural, Buffy's on there, Justified, like I think the Shield's on. Man, like they've got ridiculous. They've got all the Walking Dead on there. I think they've got all of South Park on there. Like the back catalogue for Prime on the Irish version of Prime is ridiculous. It's completely worth the money because I actually have Prime Video and I actually probably even use it more than Netflix. Like if you want to go back and sit down and watch an old show, they have such a fucking high level of like depth of quality in terms of the shows from the early 2000s and the late 90s. Some of the best TV, the originals from the golden age of television, all that's on Prime over here. Netflix original content's better than Prime, but Prime's got Lord of the Rings coming out, so remains to be seen.
Special shout out to our sponsors, Prime. Prime Video.
Prime Video, you can live a better life, right?
Wow, Vinny, I'm convinced.
You want to talk a little bit about Prime? Okay, not Optimus Prime, Amazon Prime. We're here not to transform into something else. We're here to transform your mind, transform your life, transform your world. Sign Prime, be Prime, live Prime. Amazon Prime.
You know what? We're not even sponsored by Prime. So if those fuckers are listening, like, this is the kind of shit you'll be talking about.
Come on, Bezos. I'll sign up.
If you have money to move a fucking ancient bridge to get your fucking super yacht out, you can throw these two broke ass Irishmen a fucking.
They take that bridge apart regularly. That was blown out of war.
Was it?
Yeah, they take it apart really regularly. Like seemingly, it's a thing. It's a shit place to have a shipyard. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? On the other side of a bridge. You know,
I'd be like, if I had mega yacht money, I'd be like, I want my mega yacht built in the most inconvenient
way. I'd be like Bezos. Can you not just lift it out there by air? Cargo helicopter?
Or like a 1 million fucking Amazon drones.
Yeah.
You know, just one. And like this blotting out the sun as they come in.
The fucking drones are shaped like the yacht above the yacht.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's what
it's like, it cost about $1,000 extra per drone, but you know, I just
I'm Bezos.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so like I just think when Netflix, the issue is right now is that they're asking a lot of their consumers because they're doing a lot of price hikes at the same time they're doing the password sharing crackdown, and at the same time on the other hand,
to me. Not to speak over you, please remember where you were, but I actually am a bit confused here, and I will. Password sharing, how, in what way, shape, or form are they? If I use your password over here, they'll pick up on that, and I won't work or some shit like that. How does the password sharing thing?
I'd say they'd probably have authorized devices. Like two-step.
Somebody tried to log onto your device. Like that shit we all get.
Yeah. Two-step verification or whatever. But like I think that's what they'll probably do. Either that, or you can have only assign your account to a specific IP address or some shit like this. Like, you know what I mean? I just think it's all clunky and as fucking completely unnecessary considering the amount of money they make. And just to kind of backtrack on the point I was saying was, I just think with the price hikes and the password lockdown coming right now, and their content is continuously getting weaker and weaker. I think it's the wrong time to do it. I think a couple of years ago, when Stranger Things had the season 3 that wasn't 5 years away, and when Santa Clarita Diet, all these kind of Netflix originals where everybody was fucking falling all over themselves to watch before you had the Stranger Things delay, and they started canceling original content left, right, and center. And
oh my god, what there was a red wedding of content.
Yeah,
it was brutal.
Yeah,
I really liked Santa Clarita Diet.
I've never seen it, but I just know about shows like that. I just use it because it was such a popular show. But it still got cancelled 2 or 3 seasons into its run, and it was very open by the time. You know what I mean? Like it found its stride. It explained itself a bit, and then it just kind of. Even if it got one more season and just wrapped itself up, Yeah.
It deserved to end on its own terms. It's always
Yeah.
pisses you off when they do that to a show.
Yeah, like hashtag Save Venture Brothers. Like, what the fuck's going on over there, Cartoon Network? Like,
Yeah,
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
Listen, like
Adult
Firefly
Swim,
is kind of like Firefly is like the they go to.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, you know.
Yeah, but Venture Brothers is even worse because they actually asked them to leave it on a cliffhanger because they said they were going to give one more season. They left the last season on the cliffhanger, and then they canceled the show.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I swear to God. Like, even Final Space, that show got left on a cliffhanger and that show got cancelled. Like, the effort and work these people have done for you over an extended period of time, do they not get do they not deserve a chance to wrap up their show?
Were you like hemorrhaging money or something?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's Netflix.
Don't get me wrong. If you're like, I mean, what was it called? Marco Polo.
Yeah.
That show was costing absolute arms and legs,
of course,
and it was, you know, huge war scenes and everything.
Was that a good show?
Authentic. It was. But I have to say, like, even after one season, I was like, yeah, I'll move on to something else. I'll get back to it, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So take from that what you will. You know.
Yeah. So you're the reason it got cancelled.
I am. Yeah. You know, imagine it was just like, you know, one more person.
Yeah, one more person. We just needed that one more person.
I'll do it.
And it's just like it's sticking over. You logging into it by accident. I'm just like, oh no, shit! I went to Rick and Morty.
But yeah, not letting shit go out on its own terms. That's the kind of shit that would piss you off. Like with me, I always think people are like, there's never anything on Netflix. And I like, bitch, wait a second. You like this, and this. And when it comes out, you are not heard of from the weekend for 2 or 3 days. You are just there, popcorn, beers, whatever it is, absolutely locked in. You're dead to the world. And then you come out and 2 days later, the fuzz wears off you and you kind of go, there's nothing on Netflix. We absolutely bleed years worth of content dry inside of a day. I think I watched Stranger Things in just over a day.
Yeah, because you think that that's an issue with Netflix. A lot of people said that the problem with Netflix is that the reason a lot of these other streaming services are kind of shifting or staying with the weekly format in terms of release schedule is because these Netflix shows, as you said, after 3 or 4 days, you lose the haze, you're looking to the next thing. Whereas a weekly release is in the conversation longer because you're constantly looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
it's simply a 10-week, like if something was released once a week over, let's just say 10 weeks, that's 10 weeks. There's no way around it. It simply is what it is.
Yeah, and you're talking about in between.
Absolutely. And you're buzzing off it, but no, you want it all so you can Tiger King it and you can absolutely fly through it. And that's fair enough. We all did it.
Yeah.
But then you complain. And I actually do think Netflix turnover rate is actually quite good. Like it's definitely worth what we pay for it. My God, it's worth what we pay for it.
What we used to pay for it was worth that. It's not worth more. It's not worth more simply for the reason is there's too many weaknesses on the platform. Like the horror on Netflix has only started to get better over the last 4 or 5 years, 5 or 6 years. Like, you know, it's they have such a big fucking fervent fan base there, and it's kind of like these fucking shit straight to TV horrors, these fucking D-level horrors that when you go into the search engine or whatever, and like an issue as well with these streaming services, like we need to be able to access the full back catalog. They need to get rid of the algorithm. They need to just have complete collections under services. We can't be just, or even have the algorithm there to recommend stuff, but there should be a better way to search the movies, because when I go into
there should be I fucking hate this, not a downvote, just a button that says and it says the word fucking it. You're not messing around when you hit it. I fucking hate this, because dating shows and stuff like that, I hate them. Reality shows, Love Island or something like that, I just physically can't watch. So I would love that, like and again, but so you might touch on something that's like let's just say reality. So you're just gonna go, oh, well, you like reality, then this is reality. You're like, no. No. What I watched was like the hunting down of Al Bundy or Ted Bundy or Al Bundy. And,
that's not what you want to see.
Hey, Peg.
Love and marriage, love and marriage. It's an institute. I can't disparage. Is it? Must disparage?
It's an institute you can't disparage. Ask your local gentry and they will say it's elementary. Oh, God. I love that show as a kid. But yeah, no, I do think the algorithm is a problem. I think YouTube, have you ever got YouTube is so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh my God. YouTube's algorithm is completely out of control.
Yeah.
You look up like a female and it'd be like, and then all you're going to see is like beauty stuff and stuff for like eternity. Yeah. And I looked up best female singers in metal.
Of course you do.
And I ended up getting all this kind of beauty trend and shit kind of on me thing. And I was like, okay, not what I was asking for.
Of course.
But yeah, there's maybe, what if there was an option to simply had algorithm off? Would you use that?
No,
algorithm on.
But you can have the algorithm on for the dashboard when you load up the site. But there should be a TV guide where like a TV guide where you should go in and you click into horror and it just should show every horror movie that's on Netflix in alphabetical order. You should go in to be able to go into thrillers and it should just show every single thriller. Like how is this not a thing where every single thing they're
sort by most watched, sort by alphabet, sort by
or just have it like in alphabetical order. Like there should, like, you can sort whatever way you want, like, but I just think there should be an actual list of all the movies that are on Netflix. They're paying to have these movies on their service. Yeah, it's completely algorithm dependent on whether or not we have any access to them or we can obtain access to them. And if they want the price hike, they need to make the service more user-friendly, consumer-friendly in terms of the actual content we have accessibility to on their fucking platform. Because the story with Netflix right now is they got obsessed with this word algorithm, and the algorithm sucks dick. And the fucking thing is that we never get to actually watch something new because every fucking subgenre just keeps getting related to the same fucking 4 or 5 movies that you watched 12 years ago when you got the fucking account or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just so fucking frustrating that you actually can't get into and that's what I like about Amazon Prime. Even though their algorithm is pretty shit, there's actually a very easy way of finding new things, because when you actually go click into any movie or any TV show, a lot of the times at the bottom of the list, it will give you a mad long list of things that are similar to it, that are actually fucking similar to it. Instead of like what you said on Netflix, oh, I just watched the hunting down the Ted Bundy tapes. I'm like, oh, you like reality TV? Check My Amazing Cake Wedding. Like, oh, suck my dick, Netflix. That's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even the same sport.
I wanted alphabetical, and I also want them to read my script aardvark. It's hard. This is our film. I definitely have wrote, and I'm ready to send.
I want to read it if that's real. I know you're messing. I want to read it. I just want to see what's about.
It's just, the outside can be hard. Aardvark.
Yeah. I'm actually sold. This is weird.
Yeah.
I know you're fucking around, but I'm buying this. I'm buying this.
We're just gonna stop it there. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit.
Just let me call this inside here.
So thanks for like whatever. We're finished.
So I run this small independent publishing company called Blood Wolf. Twisting my mustache.
Yeah, I don't know. You're absolutely right. If you're going to up the price, up the product.
Yeah.
And I know it's still quite cheap. It is. It's very, very cheap. It's cheaper than going out to see one movie. It's crazy cheap. But it's still at the same time you're saying we're upping our prices. But here, and that's just the way commerce should work, essentially, you know. Because money was being made. Their money was being made by the absolute bags. Yeah. And now they've made it more difficult for people, which I kind of understand, because like, I mean, it was definitely out of control there for a while.
Yeah. What they were making, or you talk about password?
Well, just how many people are password sharing and fucking all this kind of shit. I even like, you go on Reddit and you see funny stories about like hi, I'm your I'm roommate with Rob, and he goes like, Rob who I went to college with. It was like, I lived with him after that. Can I have your Wi-Fi? Can I have your Netflix password? And it was like, you know, people use other people's Netflix passwords, and it's been like 3-4 years. It was crazy, and I don't begrudge them, but at the same time,
yeah, I think the password sharing thing, that's fair, because you should get what you pay for, and other people shouldn't get what you pay for. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's hard to argue that.
Yeah,
like, you know, like, it'd be nice. I want free this and free that, and then I wouldn't have to pay for it, and that'd be great. But like, of course, it's like, you can't actually make an argument for it.
Yeah, the price hike, though, I think it's completely unreasonable, especially now in a time like I know it doesn't seem like it costs a lot, but when you have to weigh up what people's monthly incomes are, their rent, their living, and quickly when Netflix becomes more and more expensive, and all these streaming services combined become more and more expensive, they're going to become a luxury product. They're already a luxury item, and the thing is, people are going to start picking and choosing of which one they're going to want to keep, and they're going to go for the cheaper one, and they're just going to keep one, and they're going to constantly keep rotating. And in Netflix and all these other places, they're going to have fluctuating subscription numbers instead of having the same consistency they used to have. and these price hikes, considering their content is dwindling in terms of like they're going to be making 15 probably Witcher shows now, and they're just like, I just think that the problem with Netflix is that it's the wrong time to ask for the price hike. I just think when they're canceling a lot of shows that people love, or they're losing the rights to a lot of shows people are using the subscription service for, now is not the time to do it, because they don't really have a lot on the horizon. They're name the top 5 shows you're looking forward to seeing on Netflix, or top 5 movies you're looking forward to seeing on Netflix. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't. If you put me on the spot like that, I can't.
Yeah, like Stranger Things or something, maybe. Like,
well, yeah, but that we've already covered that, and that one's quite obvious. It's huge, you know. It's a juggernaut.
And the Ozark or something, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
yeah.
So outside of the stalwarts that made the show, the service a juggernaut over the past 5 years, like that really made it a juggernaut. I'm talking about like like just say last 10 years, with the likes of Stranger Things, Ozarks, and now you have The Witcher. All these shows are huge, but outside of their titans, they're having less and less middle ground, and that's how you fill out your content stream, where you need these things to kind of cover the gap between the shitty stuff that you're buying the rights to cheaply and your top echelon of your original content. And I think that's the issue with Netflix at the minute, that all this kind of mid-level things that keep you watching in between every season of the big shows that you really have the service for, they're canceling them, or they're not making them as good as they used to, and they're still asking for price hikes. So now you're saying, what, we actually just pay them so you can give The Witcher 7 seasons at fucking 200 million per season? You know what I mean? Like, or what way, you know?
You've actually just spurred a memory of something I read recently back into my mind, and somebody started a conversation or something on Twitter, and I just seen whatever somebody brought up on a website. I wasn't there for it, but somebody said, can you think of anything that is crazy priced, that has no reason to be? And I'll give you an example. And the guy gave the example of glasses we like that we wear, and apparently they cost absolutely almost fucking nothing to make. And somebody just eventually kind of said that, yeah, they're what they cost is what people are willing to pay for it. Yeah. And Netflix could just, again, it's still very cheap. I don't want the people to get it twisted. It's not like, my God, this expense.
Yeah.
But it could follow that model. As in, like, I don't know, they did this and our drop off was 1%, but we put it up 10%, 15%, 20%. Ergo, this was definitely worth it. Because that's all it is. At the end of the day, somebody on Twitter will have to, you know, like, oh, we care about inclusivity and blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck all that. At the end of the day, somebody's going to go, what are the numbers? What are the numbers? The numbers are this. Are the numbers better than this number? Yes. Then that was a good idea. End of fucking story.
Yeah.
So I do think that maybe they would follow that model. I actually do think you're onto something.
Yeah.
You know, I it's not about like improving the product. It's the fact that they were able to, and fuck us, because those bitches like got us in, got us hooked, and we're hooked. Netflix is easy. You check Netflix. I haven't watched something on Netflix in a while, but I check that bitch every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah,
I just do.
Yeah, but like the thing is, over in America, Disney have a package with Hulu and ESPN included. As soon as they take that internationally, and they're only charging 12 or 13 euro a month for it, all the Netflix superhero shows are already gone to Disney Plus in most markets. I'm not sure if they're gone to Ireland yet, because I haven't watched Disney Plus in a couple of weeks. But like, I just think Netflix are making a bad move here, because their competitors are not increasing their prices.
The competitors are on the up, though. You know, like it's not, because Netflix did feel like, if we were having this conversation 5 years ago, I do feel like we'd be talking about Netflix, the monolith.
Oh, of course.
And because when I found out that like, Amazon are trying to get into the streaming service game, I was like, that's kind of cute. Like, despite the fact that they're such a titan, like, it doesn't matter. It's like saying like somebody's wants to be a pop star and somebody has Michael Jackson or something like that, and you're thinking, yeah, like they'll have some degrees of success, but we're literally just the pinnacle, or like Beyonce or some shit like that. And but here they are. Like they're not maybe quite there, but they're certainly nibbling at the heels of it. There's no doubt.
Well, like,
so maybe it does blow up in their face, and if it does, fucking good.
Yeah, it's just that, like, if you look at Disney, right, they have the Star Wars back catalog, they have the Marvel back catalog, their Fox, They've got Hulu that they've yet to introduce into the wider international market. They have the ESPN package. I just think, like, if you look at what Disney can offer, and they keep growing, and they're already talking about they're probably going to buy more properties or maybe a few more studios. You look at Amazon, they recently just purchased MGM, who own the rights to James Bond. You know, they just purchased the rights to Lord of the Rings. Outside of Netflix, Netflix don't earn any money other than subscriptions. Disney earn money outside of Disney Plus. Amazon earn money outside of Prime Video. So they can afford to buy these things of profits that are no way associated with the subscription service. Netflix have one model, one mean of income, except outside of maybe merchandise attached to their
You
shows.
saying that like Amazon could weather the storm if they had to?
Amazon, without a doubt, on its own, is probably a richer company than Netflix.
Easily. No,
whether or not Prime
easily.
is, but Prime's just a department. It's just of Amazon. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Look at Disney. Disney Plus is just a department of Disney. Disney have the theme parks, that have the Marvel cinematic releases, they have the Marvel show, so they have Star Wars. You know what I mean? They have like all these other smaller companies, like, you know what I mean, like that are attached to them, smaller studios. Like, and I just think that if you look at Disney as a company, Disney were making money long before they ever had a streaming service. Look at Amazon; they were making money long before they ever had a streaming service, and they're making money in several different ways. And outside of, I can't think, maybe I'm wrong, but look at Netflix. They only make merchandise money probably outside the subscription services, but all of that is attached to content they have to create. Whereas Disney and Amazon have other revenue streams, so they can keep their prices low and still keep spending money on high-end content, whereas Netflix cannot. If they keep wanting to make high-end content, they look at it, if our subscribers go down, like you alluded to, we're going to have to keep the price up so we can keep balancing these books. But because they're only making their money through either subscription or merch sales, outside of those two things, they've got no other flow of income coming in, because that's their actual business model. But they're competing against companies that their business models are not only streaming. Streaming is a part of their business model, but it's not just their complete business model. So Disney can look at Disney Plus and go, I can make a loss on that for 5 years because we got the theme park.
Oh yeah,
that's
it.
Movies,
Weather that
got
storm.
the Sony deal.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, so I just think now for a while there, Disney, I think we're immediately taken seriously because of what they had attached to them, because of that brand name.
Fuck yeah.
Right. And they keep getting better and better because they're acquiring rights, and they bought Fox and they had Star. So now they have adult content. Look at Amazon. Amazon, the actual website itself, makes billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. So at the start, when nobody took Amazon Prime seriously for about 10 years there, Bezos weathered that storm, and he started slowly hoovering up rights to nostalgic TV shows, hoovering up rights. And then slowly they were like, okay, we're making enough money from this. Original content. And slowly but surely, the original content got better, got taken more seriously, start reaching a wider audience. And now you look at what I said was, they just bought Lord of the Rings. They just bought the MGM studios. They're going to have James Bond back catalog on there. You'll probably see a James Bond TV series. They have all these things now. They own the rights to Lord of the Rings. Like, they can make movies about the Lord of the Rings. They can make TV shows, spin-offs, all these things, like the way Netflix are planning with The Witcher. But Lord of the Rings has got a way fucking bigger, deeper pool of fans, because it's got fans that are fucking for decades and decades and decades, whereas The Witcher's only been around for 30 odd years. I'm not sure when the books are written, 20, 30 odd years probably. But like, so you look at what Amazon can do outside of the actual subscription service, they've got way more wealth and way more might than Netflix, because their business model includes, same with Disney, their business model includes streaming services, but it's not their complete business model. It only includes those things. Whereas Netflix business model is they are a streaming service. So I think this is a big mistake, because they don't have other cash revenue flows in the same way their competitors do. So their competitors can keep their prices down while still purchasing all these fucking rights, studios and properties the way Netflix cannot do. And I think if Netflix are not careful, they could actually cannibalize themselves and actually lose a lot of their subscribers to either their competitors, or people just start pirating more, in the same way HBO had with Game of Thrones. And actually HBO Max, you know what I mean? They're a company that's funded by Warner Brothers, who are owned by AT&T and Discovery, I think now as well. So there's another company that's one of their main competitors that have many different revenue streams because of who their parent company are. So like I just think Netflix are dwindling returns for a higher cost, and they're not reading the market in terms of how they're going to compete with their competitors. I think they need to maybe what did they say? Diversify their portfolio a little.
Yeah. That's it. It's not just sharks in the water, there's piranhas too, it seems, And maybe it was a bad move. And I fucking hope it was. There, just on the record, I fucking hope it was.
Yeah, I just think people have to understand now the days of trying to price hike and to fuck consumers is over, because we've got so much choice and so much free content out there. Like I watched Body Snatchers for an episode that we have coming up on Body Snatchers, and I watched
We're doing Body Snatchers.
But I watched that on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
like there's not like there's a shit ton of movies out there that are not free on YouTube even. Or these places in America that have two.
That's been a strange thing for me recently as well. Like, but go back far enough. But far enough being like 20, 30 years. We're in 2022. There is some fucking phenomenal content.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
That's just there. It's just on YouTube. You just throw on YouTube. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
it would have been bizarre a couple of years ago. But there, I watched some of the Phantasms just recently. Just crazy.
Anything from like the 50s, 60s onwards to the 90s, you can find a good chunk of that shit on YouTube. So like anyone that thinks that like Netflix is the be all end all outside of their competitors and the streaming services themselves, look at places like that are free to watch, like Tubi in North American markets. You have YouTube in the wider global market. The free content's there outside pirating and stuff like that, and people will flock to pirating if they think they have to. And because the way Netflix release all their shows in one go, it's going to be up the next day on these pirate services, these torrent services. So like I just think it's a bad choice to make at the wrong time for Netflix, and I think their competitors are getting stronger, but they're clearly getting weaker, and this kind of smacks of desperation to me. The crackdown on the password, I know it's some people think it's not fair. I think it's fair. If you want Netflix, you should pay for it like everybody else. That's just the way it is. And you want these stream services, they have to be able to fund these shows, and how they fund these shows is by paying for them. So exactly. Like, it's just the way it is, like,
it's a very simple model. It's a very simple model.
Yeah. So if you want more Witcher, you're going to have to pay to see it. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I just think Netflix's ideas here are bad time and bad ideas, and it might actually drive a lot of their subscription or subscribers either to the competitors, or might even cause them to pirate more. You know what I mean? So that's the problem. It's like with cable, look at cable, Game of Thrones, the most pirated show in the history of television, because cable prices were so high, because HBO was so inaccessible to a lot of markets around the world, because they had such a niche. They weren't really international in the same way Netflix or a Disney Plus are now, or an Amazon Prime. They were very much a North American entity, HBO, and that's why HBO Max even today is still only a North American entity in probably some places around there, but it's not an international subscription model or service. That's why Game of Thrones got pirated so much, because of the cost of paying for like a Sky Digital or Virgin or whatever, Virgin Media over here in Europe, or whatever other European costs are. The costs we're paying for these are so astronomical, or the fact that the creators, HBO, the people that originally created the show, their actual service was so inaccessible to a wider market, that Game of Thrones ended up becoming one of the most pirated show, if not the most pirated show of all time. And that's what's going to happen with these big ticket Netflix shows, that if they don't cop on, bring these costs down, or keep the content up in the line of the cost, or to make the service itself better, then people are going to just like leave and pirate their shit when it comes around. Stranger Things 4, season 4, I bet you any money it's going to have one of the highest pirated numbers of all time, because people are going to drop off Netflix, but they're still going to want to go back and see what's going on with the kids, you know what I mean, that are probably now 25. So like,
yeah,
you tell me.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually can't disagree with any of that. I do. And people can be a little bit proud as well sometimes. Like Netflix aren't careful, they could have a fuck you moment. Just a fuck you moment. Whereas like people just, it's easy. All it needs is one hashtag that picks up a little bit of momentum. That's the age you live in.
Yeah.
And it could. It mightn't, because that's also the world we live in.
Yeah. So no, before I let you get the fuck out of here, tell me, motherfucker, what do you think Netflix are going to do over the next 5 years in terms of not like nitty gritty numbers, but like, do you think their content will improve now that the price hikes are going up, or do you think it's going to plateau like the way people are fearing, and the quality is not going to go up with the cost?
I think there's going to probably be a plateau, with the exception of a couple of absolute gems. Like every now and again, it'll be like, oh, okay, I have to admit, that was really good. And
Yeah.
that might just keep the wolves from the door. But I don't think that it's going to explode in content. And I think the Plateau, if you're being fair, is not completely bad. I think that the Plateau still sees some fairly quality content come out on a semi-regular basis. But no, I don't think there's going to be this, and all that money goes into programming. No, that money goes into pockets.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? Because like at a time when you have shows like Ozark wrapping up, Stranger Things going into its last season next year, or probably in 12 years the way that show releases, and you have what's the other fucking show? Oh shit, Better Call Saul. That's going into its last season too. So a lot of these stalwarts, these big ticket items that we talked about outside of The Witcher, they're wrapping up now. Netflix are making a price hike when a lot of the reasons that these people are actually going to this service are finishing. So like a lot of people are going to be like, okay, I'll watch Stranger Things season 4 because it's out in 2 months. And after that, I'm going to get it out. And then next year, I might get it in for a month, watch Stranger Things or watch the new season of The Witcher. And then that's what I'm saying. You're going to have these fluctuations in your subscriber numbers instead of that steady, because they're complaining about a plateau now. I think they're going to be looking for that plateau in a little while when they're looking up a hill. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Nicely said.
Yeah, and I think that's my fucking final thoughts on Netflix. I think sometimes you should be happy with what you have, and they've got a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you think?
I hope he's absolutely. I actually think you fucking stole the show in this one, me man. I have to fucking give you credit. You've given this an awful lot of thought. I didn't think anything they did was completely insane because trends go that way, but I also do think that. But everything you said is true. There is just a thing now, I feel, where you just piss off the wrong person and the wrong person says the right thing and the right thing catches on and people start having a conversation and that blows up in your face. And there is an awful lot of power in simple things that just find their way online now.
As you said, a hashtag or something.
Oh yeah, just one person saying, has anybody else noticed that? Blah 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 blah. Hashtag Netflix be better or some shit.
Or cancel Netflix or some shit.
Yeah, cancel Netflix or some shit. And I do think they're playing with fire, and I do like when greed catches up with people.
Yeah,
because it doesn't happen enough.
Because Netflix made so much fucking money that's what brought all these other companies into the streaming market in the first place.
Oh, fuck yes.
Because everybody sat down and were like, they've got 200 million subscribers and an average of like about $10 a month. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what made that's everybody was looking at. Like,
$2 billion a month.
A month.
The overheads are insane. You're making shows, but like you're just and then you can have advertisers, product placement, all that kind of shit that people forget about.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everything. You think, oh well, that type of sword that the Witcher had. I don't fucking know everything. Things you don't see because you don't have the eye.
Yeah.
Of somebody who knows. Something in that kind of world.
Exactly.
Cars. I know nothing about cars.
Yeah.
But like some nice fancy show that has nice cars and somebody pulls up and the camera's right there to get the insignia of whatever the fuck it is, a Lexus or something, and you that's paid for. It's like, this isn't like their only source of income. The shows could bring in their own income.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they could bite the hand that feeds. They could.
Yeah.
They could.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I think like that's the best point to finish on. They're biting the hand that feeds them, and let's just see what the fuck happens to Netflix, because the way they're going right now, they need to increase the content quality if they want to increase prices, and that's just not the issue with Netflix right now. And so I don't know. The competition's pretty fucking fierce. So if I was them, I wouldn't be making too many bad decisions in one go to disenchant their subscription customers or their subscribers, because it's a quick fucking steep hill. Because like if you as you say, all it needs is one person's opinion to catch fire, and it's game over. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you know.
James Franco or something. Somebody just said something. One of the women that worked with him in one film, like a D-list actress, said something. But people said, "What? Sorry, what was that?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then a conversation started, and then everything came to light.
Yeah,
and I know I'm using a very serious topic, and I'm sorry if it sounds like.
Well, I know what you mean, though. Opinions are wildfire.
It's true. Opinions can be wildfire. That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. So all right, folks. Before you get the fuck out of here, I'm your host Vincent Green,
and I'm your host John Tui,
and that was Talking Pints, and we were talking about Netflix price hikes and password sharing. See you next time, motherfuckers. Peace.
Peace.